Good morning and happy early morning Sunday to you. Actually, it's late. I slept into 5 o'clock this morning. Incredible. Man, I haven't slept that long in ages, at least on a Sunday morning. So here we go. Almost afternoon and happy Monday, Australia, New Zealand. Okay, in the background today. God, I love this thing, but I've never found it on vinyl. The Electric Six. I think these guys are out of Detroit. This is called Fire. This is just, it's one of those CDs that just make me smile. It makes you want to dance, kind of groove on there. They got such incredible classics as Naked Pictures of Your Mother. I got Naked Pictures of Your Mother. Neat song, Gay Bar. We're going to a gay bar, Dance Commander. I don't know. You know, if you want it, I think the CDs are fairly inexpensive, but this thing is really neat. I play this thing so often. I got a lot of their other stuff. That's the one I like. Alright, you know, I was able to have a meetup this week. I went down to Dallas for some meetings, and I posted some stuff I was eating on Facebook. Yes, the Facebook channel of food. That is mine. And I get a note, and it's from Chris from First Pressing Goodness. He goes, man, I live right down here. And he actually worked close to where I was staying. So on our last night, we got together, went out to eat, and then we went to this record store. And the thing was incredible. I mean, this record store was like an airport hangar. The $1 and $2 vinyl went on and on and on. It was amazing. Really great. I've met Bill Young, from a Michigan Record Club, and he lives here in town. So I've been able to go over there and spend some time with them, and it's been an absolute treat. So this is the first time when I've been out traveling, I've been able to meet up with someone, and really just had a great time. So Chris, thank you. If you haven't ever checked out Chris's channel, please do. Chris First Pressing Goodness. He gave me some hints on eBay because he's been picking up some incredible jazz. So had a real fun night with him. Kind of unexpected pleasure. And I thought I was saving some money this week, and it didn't happen. Then yesterday we had a record show. Then I came in and saw I'm going to spend. I doubled what I was going to spend. Okay, it's a problem, right? Okay. Quick, I said I was going to shout out some of the newer channels that I've been watching, and it's been quite a few of them, though. I swear to God, I'm falling behind, man. So a couple of the new channels, and I'll write these down below. Smart people would put a link. Me, I'll just write it. First was Chris Billings. I've been watching his channel, really been enjoying it. Last of the Boomers, that's Glenn. Glenn, his channel is Last of the Boomers. Blues Guy Vinyl. He's been putting out some stuff here real quick lately. And Randall Weaver. So those are 4 I just want to call out. Nice channels I'm watching. I've been enjoying their content and what they've been having to say and being entertained. And this is one spot. Let me entertain you. If not, it gets kind of boring, huh? All right, today, some grails. Are these the major grails? No, they're not my major grails. That would be like finding Suicide's very first album. It's like, wow. I really don't have. Someday I should write down what are my major grails. In all honesty, I'm not sure. But these are 3 albums that I've been looking at. I've been seeing. And I go, should I not? I really, really want them. It would be great to have them. And I did it. And where did I get them? In West Virginia, Charleston, West Virginia, at Elk River Records. So shall we begin? First one, Big Momma Thornton. Look at that, with the Muddy Waters Band, and the label, Arhoolie. This is her second album that she did on Arhoolie. So Big Momma Thornton, her real name was, what was it? It was Willie Mae Thornton. Willie, God, I think it was Willie Mae Thornton, I believe. She was born in 1926 and passed away in '84. Born down in Alabama. She got into music, like most of them, through the church. It was gospel. But in 1948, she moved to Houston. And when she was in Houston, she began hearing the horns, and the R&B changed. It was a lot more dance-oriented, and again with the horns. Houston, again, that's kind of where Zydeco, when everything was going. Such a mix of music down there. And so it really changed what she was hearing. And, eventually she made it up to Chicago. So they called her Big Mama. And the reason why is, well, there's a couple. She had a strong voice. She was a very big woman. And she had a very strong personality. She's most famous in 1952. She did the song Hound Dog. And that went to #1 on the R&B charts. She was the first hound dog, and it's really worth listening. Later on, Elvis heard a rendition. Actually, Sam Phillips loved the song Hound Dog and had heard that. And because Elvis wasn't a belter, but he goes, man, you got to do this song. And so Elvis did his version of Hound Dog and made it his own, but Big Mama did it. Everyone remember, you know Janis Joplin, Ball and Chain? Big Mama Thornton wrote and recorded Ball and Chain. The problem is, the record company, along with her, never set up the publishing rights for it. She never got a dime for it. Not a single dime. Isn't that sad? Man. Here's the back side of this thing. This was, so again, she plays with so how about her backing band? Otis Spann on piano, James Cotton on harmonica, Muddy Waters on guitar, Samuel Lawhorn on guitar, Francis Clay on drums, of course Big Mama, and Big Mama also is a drum player, so she also plays on drums on a couple songs on here. What a great thing. I'd been seeing this down in Charleston, West Virginia for the last year. It'd been sitting there, and I finally looked and says, you know what, I'm not coming back here again because I've been transferred. What kind of deal can you give me? And he gave me a good deal, and I bought it. So excited to have this thing. Such a great album. Really been enjoying that. Say, wow, what more could there be? What more? So as I was looking at that, I saw this other record. I didn't buy it. I go, God, that's a lot of money. And actually, I was texting Bill Young, and he goes, that's a pretty good price for that. And you should probably go get that. It was a first pressing of Pearl Jam's 10. And there it was. It was sitting there, and I know that had been there since Christmas. This came out in 1991. They wanted to call themselves, instead of Pearl Jam, they wanted to call themselves Mookie Blaylock. Mookie Blaylock was a basketball player, and that was the name of the band that they wanted to do. But Epic's going, wait, dude, you can't do that. Lawsuits and all that. So when they did this album, what was the album they wanted to call Mookie Blaylock? Oh, I know. 10 came from Mookie Blaylock's jersey number was 10. And so that's why this is called 10. Way to go, Mookie. This is a dark album. The lyrics on this thing, they deals with suicide, depression, murder, loneliness, all kinds of really bad stuff. I mean, it's a sad album. And really the lyrics were kind of designed because it came from Eddie Vedder. He had learned at age 17 that the person he thought was his father really wasn't his father, and his father was dead. And that disturbed him so much that it poured out in these lyrics, and the songs are about that. Even songs like Alive are just dark, terrible songs. I mean, there's this one of the songs. It's about, okay, so the kid finds out that the person he thought is his father isn't his father, but his mother's in depression. So his mother thinks the son looks like the father, so starts to have sex with the son. Oh my God, I never caught that whatsoever on this. I'm not a lyric, I don't hear these things, but wow. But honestly, this thing took off. And Pearl, it did not take off right away. It came out in 91. It didn't come big till 92. So it took a while to get going, but it made their name and got Pearl Jam going. Hey, Cat left me. There was a spider. He's out chasing the spider. Yesterday, there was another spider down there. It's one of these jumping type. And that thing went after that, so just goofing around with that, and eventually he ate the spider. Okay, so the cat's earning his keep. He's chewing on spiders. Now he's messing around trying to get this other spider. That's 2 spiders in a row. Wow. All right, so I bought that. You go, okay. And there, as I'm buying this, on the shelf, they have this, what I call the wall of teasing Steve. You know, this whole wall of records that are there purposely to tease me. I see Nirvana and Utero. Not just that. Yes, it's the special limited edition in Utero that came out. And there it is. And, well, that's not the cheapest album. That's not the cheapest album. So let's make a deal. And that's what we did. Well, kill the spider, would you? Just, there he goes. Hold on. Spider dead. All right. All right. Jeez. I wrote down the word all right as one to not say. Fantastic. All right. So, we picked this up. This was Nirvana's 3rd album. 1993 it came out. An absolute classic. And I did not own it. I didn't even have this on CD. They had Steve Albini. I'm sure I said that one wrong. He produced it. And Kurt Cobain wanted him to do it because 2 of Cobain's favorite albums were the Pixie Surfer Rosa and the Breeders' Pod. And Steve had produced both of those, so they brought him in. Well, he really stripped it down. I mean, he wanted kind of raw and stripped down. So when the record label hears this, they're just going, dude, man, there's no way. We're not going to put that out. We don't like this whatsoever. You guys need to remix this and make it better. It's just too raw sounding. So, hey, no, those are the record albums. Here. So they, you know, Albini, he did a little bit, but says, I'm not going to do any more. You know, he's kind of a pissy guy, so screw you. So they brought in a few other people, and they did some mixes, and they released it and went to #1 the first week on there. The title, In Utero, it's from a poem by Courtney Love. Yes, Courtney Love is part of this album. And so she wrote this poem, and that's what it was called. There was an interview, and Kurt Cobain said the title that he had wanted to put on this thing, now think about this, this was the title he wanted to use, was I Hate Myself and I Want to Die. That's what he said he had wanted to call that. We call that foreshadowing. Wow, isn't that powerful? I hate myself and I want to die. Well, this came out, obviously it was their last studio. It did well, you know, they did Unplugged and everything, they did some live stuff, so it was quite the album. They did it in Cannon Falls. Cannon Falls, Minnesota is where they recorded it. It only took them 6 days to do that. Wow, going up to Minnesota, so In Utero, there we go. Limited edition first pressing. How about that for 3 cool grails? Now, if, say, I was Hank from Smokestack Records, Dylan from Noble Records, Chris from First Pressing, they would have found those for $1, maybe $2. I did not. They gave me a better deal. All right, let's dig into some other stuff that's not the grails. We're going to first talk about the group Weather Report. I have 3 albums from Weather Report. I'd recently, if you watched back a couple months ago, you know, I found some Weather Report albums, and I liked them. Now, I know Weather Report, and actually, I just didn't dig them at all. Well, what I've learned is Weather Report there's good Weather Report, and there's bad Weather Report, at least to my ears. These, I did research, are good weather report. Good weather report. So I wrote them down on a list, and I'm out record shopping. I pull out my list, and guess what? All 3 of them are in record store in Florence, Kentucky, and they were pretty inexpensive. So I picked them all up. You know, just a little, you know, Joe, you know, one of the leaders of it, you know, was Joe Zawinul. I believe I'm saying that right, Zawinul. You know, I asked Siri, what's the name of the keyboard player in Weather Report? And I'm pretty sure she pronounced it Zawinul. So if that's wrong, blame frickin' Siri for that one, all right? I'm trying to get it right. Well, this guy, he was born in 1932 in Austria. They stayed in Austria. They were there through the war. In 1959, he came over to the States to study at the Berklee College of Music. And within 1 week, Maynard Ferguson heard this guy play and go, "Guy, hey, come on. Why don't you tour with me? You know, become part of my band." So he came over to study music. 1 week later, he's touring around with Maynard Ferguson. He then hooked up with Cannonball Adderley. And one of Cannonball Adderley's most famous songs is Mercy, Mercy, Mercy. You know, for those of you jazz lovers, you have to have Mercy, Mercy, Mercy from Cannonball Adderley. Well, that was written by Joe. He did that. Then, of course, he got in with Miles Davis, and he was part of the Into the Silent Way sessions. Well, then, you know, him and Shorter, they got together and they started Weather Report. Weather Report is kind of considered like, you know, one of those, you know, monster bands, like an all-star band almost. But it lasted for 15 years it went on, which is amazing when you have all these personalities. Well, this was their first album that came out. It's just strictly Weather Report on there. And this was 1971. Really similar to In a Silent Way or Bitches Brew. If that's your thing, if that's the kind of fusion you like, this is a great album for you. I like that kind of fusion, so that's Weather Report. And I'm holding it wrong. There we go, Weather Report, and it's on. Oh man, come on, dude, those are the records, come on. The label is Columbia. So now I killed that spider. He's looking it over now, making sure it's dead. Their second album then that came out, this was the one right after that one, probably 72, was I Sing the Body Electric. Again, this was more of the straight jazz fusion, similar to the Bitches Brew, except on this album, they added more percussion to it. So that became part of the mix, and it's on Columbia. Really great listen. Really enjoyed this one, just like the other. Both these Weather Reports I found very accessible. Good stuff. Then, oh, gee whiz, when did this one come out? 1976. See, eventually. They did Black Market. Now, what made this thing, see, I didn't use the word so, I used the word now. I have changed my transition. What made this album interesting, it is the debut of Jaco Pastorius, the famous bass player. He played on several of the tracks and then became a major part of Weather Report, so he's on there. This album went into more world music type grooves, and they began to switch into a whole nother way. You know, they were starting to lose steam, and then this thing came out and got them going again. So it became a really popular album. Another really nice listen. So all three of those Weather Reports I absolutely love. So you say, how about some more jazz? Okay. Bill Young, I bought this from his collection. I didn't know of him. Donald Byrd, and the album was Blackbird. But then I also found Donald Byrd, Thank You for Funking Up My Life, and 125th Street. Donald Byrd. Get this for a name. His real name is Donaldson Toussaint L'Ouverture Byrd. Wow, wouldn't that be awful to write on your application? Your name, we need your full name. Donald Toussaint L'Ouverture Byrd. I need a second application to get it all on there. This guy was born in 1932 and he passed away, I believe, in 2009. In 1955, he became part of the Jazz Messengers. He took over for Clifford Brown. That's when he joined that group. And so he, did them. Also, then in '61, he produced his one of his album. He did Royal Flush, and then in '62, he did an album. On both albums, he had Herbie Hancock. Nobody would hire Herbie Hancock. He took a chance on him and brought in Herbie Hancock. So his 1961-62 albums have Herbie on there. Very, very young Herbie Hancock. And, you know, Hancock went on to say, you know, probably the best advice I ever got came from Donald Byrd. And he said, protect your publishing rights. Make sure you always have your publishing rights. And Herbie Hancock did that, and he just became a millionaire, you know, really quick, because, you know, he started making these solo albums and did great with them. So that is some neat thing. So in 1973, Byrd did this album. Now, he had been a bebop player. This album, and I don't think it's anything special on, oh, it is special. Blue Note became Blue Note's best-selling album for many, many years. He was bebop, but he went into funk and soul, and this thing took off. People were digging it, and you know, Blue Note sold tons of it. So that is the album there from Donald Byrd. Really great listen. Enjoyed it, jammed to it. Very, very fun stuff. Then in, let's see here, he did, this one was next, 1978, he did Thank You for Funking Up My Life. Thank You for Funking Up My Life. And he had switched labels now to Arista. I don't know, I thought this album sucked. There's soul and funk, but this guy went disco, and there's this singing, and it's like jazz disco. And it's like, God, wasn't impressed. But at the same time, when I found that one in West Virginia, I'd found this one at 52nd Street. Look at that cover. Well, I bought it, and this one's a different Arista label. I bought it because of that cover. There's Donald Byrd. Look at that suit. Again, more dance-oriented kind of jazz with that disco feel. They weren't big things to me. So those two Donald Byrd albums I wasn't that keen about, but Blackbird, excellent. Just a couple more to go, and I've gone over 20. Bill Young, he introduced me to a group called Smith, so I bought this. Actually, I got this from his collection. It was a great album, really liked it, but it was a little poppy. So I'm in West Virginia, and guess what? Really, really cheap. I found a really good copy of this album, you know, a group called Smith. Go on Dunhill. So these guys were discovered by Del Shannon in a bar in the 60s. He was going around and heard this band playing, and it was The Smiths, not to be confused with The Smiths. This was the first The Smiths, then Britain had The Smiths, so let's not be confused with that. They had a hit. Now, this is their first album. I believe this was 1971. It's called Baby It's You. Quentin Tarantino used that on a movie he did called Death Proof, Baby It's You. The single itself sold over 1 million copies. It's a really great song. I had no idea it was from then. I've heard the song on there. Otherwise, these guys do a lot of covers, more rock out, it's let's get together, let's spend the night together, who do you love? Now they do blues classics, some other rock classics. They do a very nice job with it. It's rockier, it's really different. The vocals are really, really good on there. But this Baby It's You was a Burt Bacharach song, and they really made it their own. So, yeah, I liked it. It's good stuff. Obviously, I liked it. I bought a second copy of it, so now I have an extra one. Check out Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof if you want to hear that song, or Spotify. Final group, and this is one of those things, I saw this album cover and go, God, that looks so cool. How could you not buy that? Look at them. That there's some bad hombres, man. Doesn't that look neat? I saw that in, you know, like it was $3 for $1. I thought, what is this thing? I've never seen it. And it's a Julius Wetscher and the Baja Marimba Band. Super cheap. All right, that. Look at that one. Wow. All right, Julius Wetscher, 1935 this guy was born, died in 99. He was a marimba vibe player. In the 50s and early 60s, he actually played with Martin Denny. He was part of Martin Denny. You heard those vibes going on? Here's this guy. Then he hooked up with Al Hirt, and he wrote Al Hirt's song Spanish Flea. This is the guy responsible for it. Spanish Flea, for those that are old, is the dating game song. Da 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 da. Big important song if you're from growing up as a kid in the 60s. He did well with that. Formed his own knockoff band. This is a Herb Alpert knockoff band. Pretty much the same thing. Oh look, it's on A&M Records, Herb Alpert's thing. It's pretty much disposable music. What is fascinating though, and I believe Michael Dawson brought this up to me, on every album cover there's someone that's turned away from the camera and they're taking a pee. Well, I was fascinated by this. He told me that on Facebook. There he is. See? The guy's taking a pee. Now they're turned away. So I looked at this. Well, this was a little harder one, but what's that guy? Everyone's facing forward. He's not. That guy's taking a pee. So these albums came out in the mid-60s. Hey, if you get them for under $1, why not? It's just the artwork is, buy it for the artwork itself. Really cool. The music, totally disposable. It's like poor man Al Herb, in all honesty, but there you have it. All right. Ah, man, all right was on my list of words to not use. I use so, all right. I don't think I used fantastic this week. Thank you for dropping by. A lot of great stuff. I really found some interesting things at the show. I think I paid too much for some of it. I look forward to getting that spun and listened to. So, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you stuck through this whole thing. More to come. Cat did not bother me much at all today. Once he saw that spider, that was it. Isn't that nice? I was actually able to do this without the cat. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate all your comments, your thumbs up. Hey, do what you like to do on this thing. Just enjoy, have fun, and hopefully you got something out of this. Until next week, on our next Early Morning Sunday show, or I have an addendum show. Thanks a lot, everyone. Enjoy your week.